Hi, so this is our midterm exam review, and question number 7 on the back of the paper was kind of small to see. So up here on the screen, you guys can see what the actual system was, and it is a system of inequalities. So we're going to go ahead and graph these just like they were lines, but then we have to ask ourselves, should the line be dashed or solid? And I hope that you guys notice they both have equal to lines, so they are definitely solid, but then we have to deal with shading. So one issue on this question is, could you take a question from the shaded area and make sure that it works in both problems? Pick a point. Plug the point in. Does the point work? If it works, then that must be the answer. If it doesn't work, then you need to go pick another choice. But let's do this the right way. So first of all, this +4 here in the back says that I'm supposed to go to this graph, go to the 0, 4, and put myself a dot. Then I'm going to use my slope, and notice there is nothing sitting in front of that x but a 1. So his slope would be 1 over 1. So from that point, we're going to go up 1 over 1. And because I don't happen to have a ruler on my paper, I'm going to go backwards down and to the left, and I'm going to keep doing it until I get all the way to the edge of my paper. Then I'm going to ask myself that question, is it dashed or solid? We've already determined that it's solid, so I'm going to connect my dots, and there sits my first line. But here comes the shading. So if I want to choose a point, I'm going to pick the point 0, and I'm going to ask what side should be shaded. If I plug in a 0, I end up with 0 less than or equal to 0 plus 4. So the question is 0 smaller than 4? And that answer is yes. Since 0 was on this side, we should be shading this entire side of the problem. Now that's only the first equation. Now we're going to switch colors, and we're going to do the same thing but with the second equation. This particular problem is not in slope-intercept form, so a couple of options. You could do the 0, 0 method. Remember where you plug a 0 in for x, cover it up, and say y must equal -4. You could then plug a 0 in for the y, divide by 2, and x would have to be a -2. I choose to do intercepts. So let's go plot these points. We're going to go to 0, -4, and put a dot. We're going to go to -2, 0, and put a dot. And again, since we have already said this is going to be a solid line, I'm going to connect those dots and say that there is my line. But now we have to shade. So again, if I plug in 0, 0, I'm going to put a 0 in place of that guy, 2 times 0, plus 0, less than or equal to -4. 2 times 0 is 0, 0 plus 0 is 0, is 0 less than or equal to -4. Unfortunately, that's a no. So keep in mind, here's the red line. This was a no, so I'm going to jump the red line, and I'm going to shade everything over here. So here's the big question. Where did they overlap? They overlapped right here in this section. So if that's the overlapping section, I'm going to use the eraser side, and I'm going to erase everything that's not in that overlapping section. And I'm going to ask you to look at your paper and decide for yourself which one of those graphs looks like this. Which one has it shaded in that bottom left quadrant? And if you look at your paper, the answer is letter A. So for problem number 7, the answer is A. But here again was my suggestion. What if we pick a point in that double shaded area? What if I pick the point -3, -3? If I pick the point -3, -3, it should work in both of those problems. So you could have used the multiple choice to help you pick which one should have been the answer. So that was number 7. Question number 8, we'll take a pause for a second, let you look at number 8. See if you can read the question and write your own system that goes with that question. We'll be right back.